Have a board meeting right after this meeting, so if you're on the board, or if you will be on the board, you're welcome to attend also. Chris will introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, President Betty. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Matt Amick. He graduated from Kansas State University in 2012, majoring in accounting and finance. He took a job in public accounting through KPMG in Kansas City after he graduated and audited Sprint Nextel for a year. He then left and moved back to the place he loves, the promised land, as he refers to me now, and entered seminary at Mapp Seminary in Kansas City while working as pastor of a church of college students called Ichthus. He was promoted to director at Ichthus in 2015. Matt loves backpacking, K-State sports, ultimate frisbee, eating Dairy Queen blizzards with his wife, and likes to play golf, even though he seems to never improve at it. So help me in welcoming one of the co-owners of The Fellow, Mr. Matt Amick.
Thanks, guys. I'm really honored to be here in front of you guys. I was watching Vern's talk from 3 weeks back. Vern's come to The Fellow a couple times. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm speaking after that guy. I mean, there's so many awesome people who get to speak here. So truly, I'm honored to be here. And also, my grandpa actually was a Rotarian his whole life in the Johnston, Iowa, I think it's Johnston, Iowa group. And so this is my first Rotary meeting ever. So I feel pretty honored to be here. So my goal today is really just to talk to you guys a little bit about something that's going on in Manhattan. Like I said, Derek Richards is involved over there. Also, actually, Caleb, you can come in. Caleb, one of our other owners, just walked in. He's going to pass out some sheets that I kind of printed off for you guys to look at about The Fellow. But I just want to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what's going on in Manhattan, what co-working is, what we're doing over there. So I've got a slideshow right over there and kind of all these places so you can follow on. A quote that we kind of like to live by at The Fellow, I don't know if you know of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a German minister who, when Hitler started promoting, killing the Jews and all of those things going on in World War II, Bonhoeffer stood up against Hitler and actually scheduled, I think it was 2 assassinations, attempted assassinations. Both failed, but he was killed for it as a pastor because he thought it was his job as a believer, as a Christian, to stand up against someone like Hitler. He had a quote that I love, that I live by. He says, "The person who loves their dream of community will destroy community, but the person who loves those around them will create community." And I think at The Fellow, what we try to do when people come through our doors is we try to not have just a vision for them, a vision for what this community is going to be. We try to really hear what they need and what they want, what they need as a business, and we try to give that to them. And so it's all about, our business is all about the people that come through our doors and how to help them. It's not about some big vision or anything like that. The mission of our business is we help entrepreneurs, freelancers, professionals, and students to connect, motivate, and thrive. And ultimately, we hope that this leads to a better future for business, but not only business, because if you just stop at business, I don't think that's good enough. Also family. But even more than family, the Manhattan community as a whole, the promised land, as I call it. So, some people ask, the first question is, so what do you do? What do you do? Co-working, all this stuff you're talking about, it sounds kind of cool, there's some cool quotes, but like, what do you do actually? So the best analogy is actually Tim Luddle, he's one of our members, he told me this and I kind of use it from now on, I stole it from him. He says pretty much what we are is a gym for business people. At a gym, you go, everybody's different ages, different backgrounds, different workout plans, different needs. Some people want to run. Some people want to lift. Some people want just their upper body to get huge and their legs to be scrawny. There's a lot of those people, correct? Some people want, to do CrossFit. There's all these different workout plans, but everybody comes in and it's a space where there's things where you can do about whatever you want to help your body, your physical stature grow. We do that for business. You come in our doors. We want to get to know who you are and help you as a business, as a person. So we give our members, first of all, a space. We have a 4,000 square foot space at 1125 Westport Drive. And then also we have a community of people, and then we also do educational classes to really kind of equip our members to succeed in their business and whatever it may be. Sales, marketing, finance, whatever it is. So that's kind of what we do. I like to start with that because if not, people are confused through the whole entire presentation of what co-working is. So we're a gym for business. Now I want to go back to how this started. How do we start? So like they said, I was a student at Kansas State University, graduated in accounting and finance in 2012. Then I went on to KPMG, to seminary, and IGTHUS. So I've had a couple, not that many years, but I've had 5 or 6 years to learn a few things from a few people. And the things I've learned through all these different situations is, one, Manhattan is the greatest place on the earth, is what I believe. Does anybody else believe that? Anybody? Yeah, come on, round of applause. I truly do. It's like I was in public accounting doing that in Kansas City, but I love Manhattan. That is my passion, is growing this community, building up this community. And that's why I'm here today. The second thing I've learned is that there is a huge need for more learning in our nation today. We need to learn. We need to be put in front of people who have gone through situations, people like yourselves, who've lived life, who've lived way more life than I have, who have wisdom, and we, the younger generation, need to learn from the older generation. We need to connect these two generations and learn from each other. I think that's a need. Also, I learned in those times that innovation breeds innovation. If you put a bunch of creative people who have ideas, who like to innovate around other people, innovation will just happen. It'll just happen. New companies will be started, new ideas will be started. I also learned, who's read Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? A lot of people, right? I also learned that it's not all about just working as hard as you can, as long as you can. That sometimes you need to sharpen the saw. There needs to be activities in your day as an employee, as a business owner, who encourage you to kind of be more productive. It's not all about working hard, it's about working smart. That's what Stephen Covey says. And so what I've found out over these years at K-State, KPMG, Seminary, IGTHUS, is that ultimately there is a deep need for a place that kind of services these things, provides opportunities for learning, builds the Manhattan community, puts people who innovate around other people who innovate, and lets those ideas flourish and thrive. Allows people to not just go after big business, but to actually have a family and love their family and care about values and things that really matter in life, not just making a bunch of money. And what I've experienced is that co-working, as we stumbled upon it in the last 6 months, is it helps with that. It provides an answer to those things and creates that environment. Co-working, a few stats for you guys. According to Inc., their magazine, 74% of people are more productive outside of their daily workspace. At KPMG, I totally understand that. I had the job at KPMG of tying out their final financial statements, their 10K. It was about 250 pages, and I had to go through every single number, sprint Nextel's 10K, and tie out every single number. And I got nothing done during the week because people always are like, hey, can I borrow you for a second? Hey, can you come over here? Hey, help me here. And so I'd go on Saturdays to work because I was about more productive than the previous 5 days that I'd been, you know? And so productivity does not always flourish in the workplace. Second, the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that by 2020, 40% of our workforce will be made up of freelancers, temps, contractors, and solopreneurs, people who have their own businesses on their own. So our workforce is moving from big corporations, not fully, there will still be 60% who are in those, but it's moving more to people who need a space to work. They need a space outside of the office. Also, I like to use this analogy. Co-working in ways is like the Royals. When you have, who watches the Royals? Right? Well, you're a Royals fan. Please tell me after 2 words. Whether you're fair weather or not, you don't have to tell me. But the Royals, they have this special, intangible value about them, this camaraderie within the team that the Yankees can't buy. The Rangers can't buy it. The Angels can't buy it. The Red Sox can't buy it. No one can buy this intangible that the Royals have. And everybody talks about it. And they're boggled. They're like, why? Why are they so good? Why can they come back from 8 runs down every single game, it seems like, and win? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's crazy. It's crazy. But what it is this intangible. It's this camaraderie that happens when people are together, like-minded people are together, and really going after a goal together. That's what co-working does. Our space right now, we have about 45 members, and each person loves the Manhattan community. They love this community, and we come together and try to grow ideas that can help this community, bring about small business, encourage students to stay, not retreat back to Kansas City or to the west or east coast, but to make their home Manhattan. That's what we do every single day at our co-working space. We've all been around for a month. Like I said, productivity. People are way more productive. You ask anybody in our space, whether you're 25 or 65 or 75 or 85 or 95, people are more productive in our space. Productivity shoots up, which means less work for people, which means more family time and all that stuff. Chase Card Services wrote an article on co-working. They said it just makes financial sense. They said it just makes sense to go over there because of the huge value. Quote from Harvard Business Review on co-working, they say the growth of co-working and surveys of co-workers demonstrate that given the choice, people will choose workspaces that support their digital style while giving them access to new knowledge and exposing them to different kinds of expertise and accelerating their learning. So ultimately, when you give your people a choice, they'd rather be in a community or a group where they're able to thrive and really grow in their business and learn from others. That's what happens in the fellow. The movement of co-working, if you haven't heard of it before, it's actually been growing since 2005. This year, they say there will be about 10,000 new co-working spaces expanding. 10,000 new ones coming up in 2016. Forbes says it's the year of the co-working space. So Darren started one in Wamego. We started one in Manhattan. They're going up everywhere. Topeka, Wichita. We've had people from Hays, Kansas come in asking us how to start a co-working space in Hays because they want to help small business. They want to grow their communities. There's a co-working space up in Sioux Falls called The Bakery. It's a 12,000 square foot old bakery. Old renovated bakery. I wish we had one of those. We would have bought it and renovated it. But they're pretty lucky. It's 12,000 square feet. They have 550 members from every profession. They have owners of companies, CEOs of companies. They have new entrepreneurs. They have everybody goes there. And they teach classes. And it's this alive community that brings the community together. The fire marshal has started to write new laws. They've had to literally write new laws into the town because there's so many people. There'll be 3,000 people go to the food trucks because they love this space. It brings the community together, brings everybody together, all ages, all demographics, all education levels. Sioux Falls is probably 3 times as big as Manhattan. That's our hope for this space, is that it's a community hub where we bring everybody together. So co-working is not just a Manhattan thing, it's all over the world. Biggest company right now is WeWork, and they're evaluated about $17 billion. They were actually started by an Israeli, not by an American, up in New York. So I want to give you a real quick glimpse at some of our members right now, just to show you kind of the variety of people that join our space and give you an idea. So Cheryl Grice, she's head of talent and acquisition at K-State. She recently joined a couple days ago, and is really, her thing is she wants to pour into the younger people in our community, and she wants to teach them the things she's learned in her life and working at K-State. So she joined to kind of do that. Tim Weddle, he's an entrepreneur, but then also personal financial planner. So he wants to come, he uses our space probably an hour or 2 a day and works from the space. Colin McMillan, he is a part of a company, Rockhouse Motion. They are out of Salina, but they work with Cabela's, they work with Remington, they work with Yeti, they work with all these Sharp Electronics, all these big companies. They're a really talented company, but they're out of Manhattan and Salina. He finds his home at the Fellow. Cameron Ward, Manhattan's #1 realtor this last year. He's a member of the fellow. He works with Derek. Jamie Coons works for MCS. He stops in probably an hour or two a day, gets some work done, and says hi and meets people and networks. So professionals, we're a place for professionals. 2, we're a place for business owners. Alan Well, he's a member and is actually a sponsor of the fellow, and comes out and talk to him, he gets some work done, and it's awesome. Ben Duell from Duell Construction. The guys who own Arrow Coffee, they're both members. Jeff Hake from J&T Company. Derek Richards, Alliance Realty. So business owners come and they're a part of the fellow and bring their expertise. Freelancers. We've got Becca, she's a photographer. Ashley, a computer programmer. Emma, a photographer. Eric, he works for a company in New York City, out of Manhattan. His wife's in the military. We have a lady who works for NASCAR, but she works from our space. We have a guy who works for a computer company out of California, but he works from our space. It just brings all these people together, these talented people. We have entrepreneurs, Little Apple Doulas. I don't know if you've heard of Kaylee Proctor. She works at our space. The girl on the far right, Madeline, she has a business right now. She's a student at K-State, and she has employees in France, Italy, I believe like Hungary, all over the world. She does online shopping. So she has an online store. She has models all over the world. A huge business in Manhattan. She's at our space, growing her business. Bryce Johnson, the bearded man down in the corner. He's starting a business to help farmers grow their animals better. I'm not a farmer. I have no idea what language to use in that. But he started a business in our space and hopes to grow it in our space and get knowledge from us and stuff like that. Carolyn Devan, she teaches ACT prep courses all over the state of Kansas. And then we have some students, and I'll kind of run through them. So we have students as well who come into our space. And these are our business partners right here. So, what do we do? What do we have? Like I said, it's a gym membership. So we have workrooms, idea rooms with whiteboard walls, free Arrow Coffee 24/7. 24/7 access to our space like a gym, so you can scan in whenever you want and come work and be at our space. Printer, copier, fax are the fastest internet in Manhattan. Conference room, consultation booth. We have a business consultant and financial planner who provide their services for free. A lawyer who does that. A front desk admin to help with your business. If you join our space, we're part of a network of 8 other co-working spaces. So if you're a traveling businessman, you can go to all of our different co-working spaces all over the Midwest. And we have different memberships. You can be a member, or if you have a business and you want people to join, you can join up and buy more memberships for less cost. We have founders who want to be on the inside of what we're doing in Manhattan. There's all these different ways to join in with the fellow and be a part of what's going on in this community. And our ultimate hope and dream is playing our part in the Manhattan community in developing a culture of creative entrepreneurship and small business while using the growth to give back to the community. That's our goal. And so we're working with the Chamber of Commerce. Lyle was over a couple days ago. And we're working with, trying hard to the Greater Community Foundation, other groups, to try to figure out how can we do this together? How can we play our part? And so that's kind of what co-working is. That's what's going on. I'm probably out of time. Am I out of time? Yeah. I'd like to just open up for a few questions. I know that's a lot of information, especially if you've never heard of co-working. But what questions do you guys have?
How are you funding it?
Yeah. So we have business partners who put up like $5,000 sponsorships, are going pretty quickly, so a lot of people buy those, so that funds it. Memberships, people pay month to month, $125 a month, so that funds it. We've had a lot of people pay up front, so we give them a discount for paying their money up front, so that gave us a pool to draw from as we kind of grow. So there's a lot of different ways.
Are you an incubator? And if not, what is the difference between what you're doing and an incubator?
Yep. I think that there are a lot of co-working spaces that have incubators. That will naturally happen when you get an incubator through communication, but we just don't intentionally do that, I guess. So an incubator has a 5-week program, a 5-month program that they put you through. Every single person goes through that program. We don't do that. We just provide services. But down the road, we could see ourselves starting something like that. So, so yeah, kind of, but not really. Not as formal.
Yeah. This might be difficult to pin down, but you said a lot of the people come in for 3 hours at a time. What would be a typical, that time? What would be a typical thing that one of your members would do?
Yeah, like what times of the day?
No, I mean, what would they do during that?
Oh, what do they do? Oh, they work.
Like, what would their typical work day be?
Yeah. So we have a big workroom. So that's the one you plug and chug. So you're putting in your either headphones or it's a quiet room. So you get a bunch of stuff done. We have a whiteboard wall room, which is where like a Tim Weddle hangs out. He'll have his computer out. He'll be dreaming, thinking out loud on the whiteboard, and kind of doing his work in there. We have a cafe. You can go in there, have a meeting, talk to someone, use the conference room. I mean, so it's kind of a variety of different things, but really getting work done. Just getting stuff done. We have desks, standing desks, sitting desks, couches, chairs. It's all over the board. You can move wherever you want. It's a all-inclusive resort for the businessman. Yeah, you had a question?
You answered my question
Okay.
about sound.
Yeah.
With so many people in
Yep.
an open space.
So we have doors and separations between the rooms, but we're actually putting in sound equipment to deafen the sound and absorb it. Yeah, actually, we've experienced a little bit of noise. Yeah. We're thinking about putting in phone booths. So as a business person, you can go in and take a phone call, and it's quiet. You can put your laptop up there, and then go back out and work. So like I said, gym membership, all-inclusive resort for business people, that's kind of what it is. And we put it at a really low price. And so it's not going to break your bank.
Where are the other places that you're allied with? You were mentioning that.
So there's one in Lawrence. There's one in Omaha, Nebraska. And then they go north from there. We're trying to there's a few in Kansas City we're working with right now, trying to get them signed into the group. There's one in Wichita we need to talk to. Not Ironclad yet. We're friends, but we need to. We got let into. We're not the starters of the group. We got let into the group because of a random connection, and so we need to. Well, that meeting after. Yeah.
What if someone wants to try it out, say for a day?
Yeah. So what I'd encourage you guys to do is, just come try it out for a day. It's free. It's free. Just come try it out. Just come in and sit down there for a day and just give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? You could dislike it, never come back. Or you could love it, and it could change your mind. You never know. So thanks for letting me talk, guys. I really appreciate it.
And Matt, in honor of your speaking, we're going to donate this book to